Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the Aggie Pridecast. We are back here with another exciting show. With us today, we have acting head men's basketball coach Will Jones, along with point guard Kameron Langley, and we're going to talk to them today about North Carolina A&T basketball, NBA draft, and all those fun things, and what is in store for the future. Welcome, guys.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Coach Jones, we'll start with you. Take us through the process. You guys are coming off a quarterfinal win. You've got Norfolk State in the semifinals. Talk about what that day was like for you guys, finding out that the tournament was going to be canceled.
Oh, man. You said who was playing the semifinals?
You're going to play Norfolk State, am I correct?
They didn't win their game yet, so I mean, we had to win. They still had to play that game, but I thought that we came out and executed what we were trying to execute. We talked about the way we were going to get it done is that we shared the basketball and play with each other. That we felt like we would be able to be successful no matter who we played, and I think it kind of. It got off to a good start with I think we had 28 or 26 assists in the first game against Howard. And if you're getting 26 assists and 20, that number of assists in a game, you're gonna be tough to beat, man. So I thought we started off really, really well, and I thought we were gonna play well the entire tournament.
The guy that was dishing out a lot of those dimes is also joining us on the Zoomcast today. Cam, you announced that you're going to go ahead and test those NBA draft waters. I guess with everything going on right now, have you discussed with some people what that process is going to look like? I know it's going to be a little bit different than what it has been in years past.
No, I haven't discussed anything with nobody. Just talking to my parents, just trying to let everything settle down with this, this pandemic that's going on. So, just taking my time with it.
Kameron, can you take us through the process of when you decided that this is going to be a probability for you to enter the NBA draft? Just take us through the process of your thought process along with your family in terms of coming to this decision.
Mm-hmm. Just talking with my parents and Coach Jones. They both felt like it was a good opportunity for me to test the waters, just because of the year I had, and it's been a dream of mine, playing in the NBA. So I just want to test it out and see enjoy the process and see where it takes me.
Cam, you led the nation in assists per game. What did that mean to you to be able to accomplish something like that?
It means a lot, especially for a point guard such as me, just trying to be unselfish, just trying to get my teammates involved. So it's just, it means a lot, but yeah, it just means a lot.
Coach, you kind of facilitated a lot of this with the change of pace that you instituted when you took over. What was it like to watch Cam help this team adjust to what you were trying to get done on the floor?
Man, it was really, really a sight to see, from the sidelines. And I think that once Cam realized that the pace would allow him to, accomplish so much more than just passing the basketball. I mean, I think he scored more points than he had been scoring previously. I think he probably had more fun than he had been having, and he'd been, getting 8 to 9 assists a game. But it just made everybody, the entire program, energized. Everybody was sharing in the success. He could have, 10, 12 assists, 13 assists, and still score 14, 15 points. And when you're playing like that, people have to recognize what you're doing. And I think it's a perfect style for him to continue to play in.
Kameron, as you look toward the future, what are some of the things that you want to work on in your game in order to make yourself better? We know you're a great passer, but what are some of the other things that you think that you can do to improve yourself?
I just want to improve in all facets of the game, but I just want to focus on shooting the basketball. I got some critics out there that don't think I can shoot the ball. So just really shooting and my speed and my athleticism, trying to get that up, and that's about it. Pretty much everything take care of itself.
How much do the critics motivate you to play better, or is that just something that you already, just kind of have that motivation to want to be the best?
Yeah, what really motivates me and drives me is my family. My parents sacrificed a lot for me, my brothers, to play this game. So that's who motivates me the most, really.
Cam, how cool is it for you to have had all the brothers playing in the same city last year, college basketball?
It felt pretty good. Everywhere we go, they stopping, saying hello to us, saying what's up. All four of us are great competitors, and it's just a blessing. It's just a real testament to our parents raising four great young men. So, yeah.
Who's the best?
Oh, I am, most definitely. I am, most definitely. Ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Describe for us a little bit some of those backyard battles in the past. What was that like for you guys? I would love to have seen one of those. Describe that for us.
It's just very competitive. Nobody wants to lose. When we were much younger, we used to play 2-on-2, but now we just play king of the court, and it's very competitive. Sometimes it's fights, sometimes it's a lot of yelling, but at the end of the day, we family, so we just gonna just keep going at each other.
Coach Jones, what makes this young man special? We know what he did in terms of numbers, but what are some of the things that you see in him that the average fan may not see?
Oh man, he's just he's a student of the game. He understands the game. He retains things, and he sees things on the floor that the average player probably wouldn't understand. And really, his unselfishness as a person, and that's a part of who he is. And what I'm trying to do is, and our staff is trying to do, to let him know that he can be a little bit more selfish in some areas. I think a good balance for him going forward would allow him to continue to get better. But I just think it's his natural ability to be an unselfish guy and want to play the game the right way. And, he wants to win. He's a winner. And, he wants to compete every day, and he wants to put his best foot forward. And that's the type of thing that the average fan probably wouldn't recognize about Cam. You think about it, a guy that, statistically, shouldn't probably be going to the free throw line as much as he does. But in the crunch time, he has really, really shown that when he focuses and he makes his free throws when he needs to. And so I just think he needs to bring that same focus earlier or just all the time, so that, people wouldn't say, hey, he struggled at the free throw line, because he can do it when he locks in.
Coach, you're losing 3 seniors that meant a lot to the program this year. Ron Jackson just signed a contract with an agency to hopefully play overseas or maybe get a shot at the G League. Devin Haygood and Andre Jackson are also gone now that the school year is part of Zoom University. So how are you replacing those guys on the roster? I know that you've been able to get some JUCO and some grad transfer signees.
You don't ever replace anybody. It's something that I've learned over, course of my career. When you have good players, you don't replace them. You get new players and you add new talent to your program, and you allow that talent to form into whatever, way it's going to form. Obviously, Ron was extremely athletic, a kid that really, really worked hard from his first year to his second year, just only being on campus for 2 years. Unbelievable how much he grew from one year to the other. And then also, Haygood, Dre, I thought Dre Jackson, just from December to March, he grew a ton I thought that, maybe if we were playing this way earlier, he would have had a lot better impact in his game. And then Haggard also probably, he kind of turned it on during, from December on, and his energy level and just playing at a little bit more frantic pace, allowing him to help us more, when we played. But those three guys, I think all of them, brought something different. And I think they, really put on for the fans and put on and really represented. And I thought all three of them were locked in and ready to go for the conference tournament. It's something that Ron talked about a lot, something that Hagan talked about, Dre talked about. Dre was playing hurt over the last couple of games, and, he just wanted to tough it out. He really didn't want to tell us, that he was hurt, but he just wanted to stay in there and give what he could give to try to help us finish this thing off. But from the recruiting standpoint, I think we find some talented guys, so far. I think we have one scholarship left that we're going to continue to try to sign the best piece for our program. But, Quentin Jones is a 6'8", a stretch 4 that I think is probably in between DeVaris McGowan's and Ron Jackson, and if that combination comes to fruition, then we got a pretty dang good player. And, Jeremy Robinson is a 6'5" wing that's, 215 pounds with some bulk, somebody we haven't been able to, get in recruiting over the last couple of years. I think he has some physicality. Tyler Jones is a kid that played in the Meac, that averaged double figures as a sophomore, and I think has a chance to be really good for us. And so, we'll try to figure out what this last scholarship is. But we got the core of the unit back with Cam and, Quay, Tyler May, Tyrone Lyons. Those guys should be ready to go. And then you add, Blake Harris to the equation. And now you're talking about, I don't care where we go. I mean, we're going to be one of the best mid-major teams in the country, period, point blank. And it's up to the guys, once we get past this pandemic, to really horn in and take advantage of this opportunity to play with guys like we have and try to do some special things.
Coach, you got a very interesting Christmas gift this past year. You were handed the A&T men's basketball program. Describe for us what that was like, hearing that you had to take over the program, and at what point did you feel confident and comfortable in that new position that you were taking over?
Man, it was a shock because, you come into this thing with a plan, and, when plans don't go as you kind of plan them, it kind of puts you into a uncomfortable situation. But, when you have a job to do, when they tell you you have a job to do, you got to figure out how to get the job done. And, going into the Illinois game, it's kind of a test run. We come back from Christmas, having to let the guys know what's going on. And, we spent some time. I just told the guys, we didn't want to have any distractions. And we wanted to still focus on what our goal was, and that was to finish the job and try to win the Meac championship and get to the NCAA tournament. But once we played at Illinois and headed back home, is really, when I started to try to figure out what we needed to do to make this team as dangerous as possible going into conference. And we gradually, as a staff, implemented some things. We didn't do it all at once. But I tell you what, man, it was after Cam, he came, he acted like he was hurt in the FAMU game. And I'm like, we're up 25 or something in the first half. We're at home. We're winning this game. And then we lose the lead. And then this guy's going to go out acting like he's hurt. And we come back in the game, and we go to overtime. And then we end up winning in overtime. I'm sitting on the sideline. I'm standing there, and I'm sitting like, this is not my first game in Corbett. I'm not going to be up 20-plus points and not win this game. And so, after we won that game, I was really comfortable that we were going to be pretty good, because FAMU turned out to be a really good team. But probably after that game, I was like, man, I'm comfortable doing this, man. We're gonna be fine.
Cam was just doing his best Willis Reed impression. It's all
Oh
good.
my God! Come on, man. Oh.
My fault.
Coach and Cam, you can both weigh in on this. Corbett Sports Center, the 8th best home court advantage according to KenPom.com, the leading analytics website in college basketball. What does it mean that your home court provides such a boost to the Aggies?
It's just a testament to our fans, you know, coming out each and every night, showing that love, that support, and also it's a testament to the team that coaches put out there. You know, I think my past 3 years, we had a pretty good team, so that's usually what the fans come to see the team. So every time we out there, we just try to put on the show for them.
You know, it's something that in recruiting now, we really let the players understand because, you know, we look at film a ton and, you know, you look in the stands and it's no, you know, not a whole lot of people have home court advantages like we do. And one of the major things in recruiting that kids, they say is I want to play in front of a high intensity crowd. And so, you know, that's not too many mid-major places in the country, man. I played in a couple of leagues, and, you know, I mean, we have one of the top environments that I've seen in college basketball. And that's what recruits want to play in. That's what we're leading off our recruiting in, letting guys know you're going to have a chance to play in front of a big-time crowd. And I think, you know, as a coach, I want to continue to engage the fans, engage the alumni to pack it, not just on Saturdays, but during the week. Let's be consistent with everybody being in there every time we hit the floor. And I think that's the one thing that this team this year was able to accomplish. We would be packed on Monday as well as on Saturday. And, you know, I think if we can continue to do that, then, you know, we may become, you know, higher than the 8th toughest in the nation.
Cameron, you had 2 triple-doubles this season, one of only 2 players in the nation to do that. And as we talk now, I mean, you had an incredible season. Is it too early to appreciate some of the things that you accomplished, or is there something that really stands out in your mind in terms of accomplishments 2019-20?
Yeah, the compliments are good, but you know, I want more. You know, I want that Meac championship. I want that Meac ring. I want to go to the NCAA tournament. I want all my parents and family just to see me on TV, enjoying that experience. Yeah, don't get me wrong, the accomplishments are good, but you know, I'm just looking for more in my career.
Now, that first triple-double, you had 9 rebounds. We're sitting over at the scorer's table. I'm not sure if you were aware how close you were to that triple-double. And Shane Scruggs still one of your rebounds. Were you aware that he had stole that 10th rebound for you, or was that even on your mind at that point?
Oh yeah, I was definitely aware because the whole team was just saying, "Cam, you need one more, and I thought Shane kind of knew that, but I guess he didn't. So you know, I just had to do it myself.
Don't worry, everybody in the stands knew it too. How about the fact that we saw 3 triple-doubles this year? The Western Carolina game, their point guard actually had a triple-double.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And then you went and did 2. I mean, it was amazing to just watch the transition from having someone go for a triple-double against you to now having your guy go for 2 triple-doubles in the same season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And how about this one, Cam? You set the Meac all-time assist record. You did it in 3 years. You did it against Howard. And Charles Williams, he set the all-time scoring record in the Meac against A&T. To have those 2 historical nights come against each other, what was that moment like?
It was real cool. I think it's just was a testament to the kind of players that the Meac is now producing. You know, not just bringing below level guys, bringing high level guys to the conference, and yeah.
Coach, for you to see both of those things, you played and have coached in this league, to see it happen twice where someone became the all-time leader in a statistical category in this conference. What was that like?
Yeah, man, I just think, God's in control. And to have both games against Howard and Charles Williams and Cam out there competing against each other, accomplishing something that both of them did is just unbelievable. It really is that story, and will forever connect Cam and Charles as they live their lives, and both of them are inducted into the national, the Hall of Fame, the HBCU Hall of Fame, and whatever other accolades that they get down the line. I mean, that's what it's about. That's what it's about for a college player, and a lot of, in our environment now with transferring and, trying to figure out if the next stop is better and is the grass greener on the other side. You lose out on having a chance to be a legend and be somebody revered on a campus in leadership. Cam's going to have unbelievable opportunities in the future to be a leader for A&T, down the line, whatever he wants to do, board of trustees or AAF or whatever he wants to do that he can impact North Carolina A&T as a university. He's earned that with his play on the floor. And I'm sure Charles Williams at Howard deciding to stay 4 years and putting himself in position to be successful, in whatever he wants to do. I just think it's a testament, and that's the story that really needs to be told in the newspaper. We talk a lot about when guys leave, but we need to tell the stories of the good things that happen for like guys like Cam when they stay, in the value that they bring to their name when they accomplish those type of things.
Kameron Langley as a part of the board of trustees, man, I would love to see it. It's going to be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about how great Cam was this year, but Coach Jones didn't have a bad year himself. I mean, he's getting shout outs from Dick Vitale, so that's not a bad year in and of itself. 14-5 as the acting head coach for North Carolina A&T. Have you been able to reflect on how special 2019-20 was for you?
Man, I didn't really, a couple of people asked me, what did you think about, were you trying to win the coach of the year and all that type of stuff, but it really didn't cross my mind. We were just trying to focus on continuing to win one game at a time. And a lot of times when your head's down and you're just counting one at a time, you look up and you're putting a lot in the barrel, you planted a lot of seed and good things happen. But I'm happy that the guys bought in. I'm happy that the staff, we were able to keep things together. I'm happy that it all worked out in a way that the guys started playing unbelievable basketball. And it's just a testament to Cam and the rest of the guys, Ron's leadership, to keep the focus on what we were trying to do. And the coaches, we benefit from the success of the guys on the floor. And, I really appreciate those guys giving me an opportunity to at least see if what I was thinking would work. And, we were lucky that it did.
Coming in as the acting head coach, certainly A&T's style of play changed a bit. The pace got a little faster. When do you make that decision as the acting head coach that, okay, we're going to change things around a little bit? And is that a tough decision to make?
Yeah, so, the way I look at it is, defensively, I was always involved defensively. And so, not a whole lot changed as far as the defense wise. I probably played the 1-3-1 more than we had in the past. It was really good for us. But if you were driving a car and I had to drive, I can't drive exactly like you. I have to drive the way that I know I can drive that will make everybody in that car be safe. And so through my career, we've always played fast. Everybody that I've worked for, we played at a pace. And so I kind of just took what I learned from Charleston Southern and took what I learned at Jacksonville, and I combined it. I thought we had the personnel to do it, and it allowed, I thought, the athletes that we had to get up and down the floor, and it allowed for us to play a lot freer. My thing with the team was, as long as you guys share the basketball, sharing the winning, all right, and make sure that we're moving the ball. I don't care who shoots. Shoot the basketball when you're open. Don't look over at the bench. Play as hard as you can. Get a sub. If we bought into that, then we were going to be really good. And it worked, man. I thought, Cam, I remember the first couple of games, Cam used to play nearly almost all game. I mean, he used to nearly play the entire game. And at Morgan State, looking at the stat sheet, I'm looking at it, and everybody's playing like 21, 22 minutes of the game. And that's what you call winning at that point. You got 8 to 9 guys playing 20-plus minutes, having a chance to still get their stats, having fun, cheering for your teammates, the camaraderie. That's what you want. And I thought they bought into that. It was great.
I do want to ask you, who are some of your coaching influences, or who are some of the people who kind of shaped your philosophy and how you approach the game?
Just working at so many universities, I worked for so many different guys. Obviously won a championship in the Meac with Coach Alexander, and his way of doing things, very meticulous, very attentive to detail. And, at the junior college level, I worked for a guy named Bruce Stewart, who, was at MTSU, and he showed me his portfolio. I was going after a junior college job, and he pulls out his portfolio, and the 3 top coaches during that time was a guy by the name of Coach K, number 1, Bruce Stewart, number 2, all right, and a coach at West Virginia, Bob Huggins, 3. And I'm looking at this deal, man. I'm like, golly, this dude was big time, okay? But he got in trouble with the NCAA, so he had to take another route. He coached in the CBA for a long time when Isaiah Thomas was the president. And then he ended up at the number 1 JUCO in the country down in Northwest Florida State. And I go there, man, and, I'm with him when he wins his 700th game. I'm like, golly, this dude's won 700 games. And it's kind of like he knew how to win. He orchestrated the game, how to win. And then I leave there and go work for Charleston Southern and Barclay Radeball. And, he's an Eddie Fogler protege, and Eddie Fogler's a Dean Smith protege. So I'm sitting in the office, and they're talking about how North Carolina, what's the North Carolina way? Why is it done this way? This is what Coach Fogler said. We do it this way because of X, Y, and Z. So I'm having those conversations there. And then I spend 2 years there and go work for Cliff Warren at Jacksonville, who really allowed me to have a voice in practice, to really coach, and he worked for Paul Hewitt at Georgia Tech, and they went to the national championship game. And so now you're working for a guy that's taking a team from point A at the beginning of the season all the way to the last game. So the management of a program, what you need your program to look like from a management standpoint, to go from the first game of the season to the last game of the season. I mean, that's a lot of knowledge to really comprehend. And those are some of the things that really helped me. I said on a couple of radio shows, you don't get ready when the phone call comes to say, hey, man, you got to take over something. You're getting ready during that time so that when you do get the opportunity, maybe you got some stomach issues, you're nervous, but from a tactical standpoint, you know what you want to do, you know how to coach it. So, that's kind of what I use, just that knowledge that I've gained from the guys I work for.
Well, that certainly explains a lot of the success that we saw this year. North Carolina A&T certainly had great coaching, had a great point guard, had a great home crowd, and certainly the future looks bright for North Carolina A&T men's basketball. I want to do a quick game here before we let you guys go. A little multiple choice here, and we'll start with Coach, and we'll say the best hoop player of all time. A, Michael Jordan.
Hey, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. No other choices.
No other choices? That's it?
Yes,
I hear you. I hear you. What about the youngster over there, Cam? Who's the best player of all time?
I like Bron.
Bro.
I like
Certainly
Bron.
has to be a generational thing there. Let me ask you this, Kameron Langley. Who's the best point guard of all time? A. Stockton, B. Magic, C. Chris Paul, or D. None of the above?
I'm gonna say Magic.
Magic. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Coach?
Man, that's a tough question, man. I like Magic too. I think his leadership is unbelievable.
Certainly. Best dunker on the team, Kameron Langley. Is it Quay Parker, Ronald Jackson, Andre Jackson, or none of the above?
Oh, someone's getting in trouble.
It depends on what you define like dunking.
In-game dunking or just like regular dunking? In-game or regular dunking?
In-game, I think out-game dunking. I think it's an easy question at that point, but in-game dunking.
Yeah, I'll take Ron.
Man, I think it's a tie. Man. I mean, both of those guys, Cam, you're just throwing the ball up and they just get it. And so, I mean,
the 360 alley-oop was ridiculous.
The 360 is tough to beat that.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But at the same time, Ron's dunk against Blunt over in Durham was ridiculous.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. I think you can beat the 360 though. I just got.
But I ain't seeing Quay like dunk over nobody or nothing.
Dunk on nobody. Yeah.
I mean,
Ron may have to get the nod because he's dunking on people.
Yeah.
On Blunt, like his knee was in his face.
No question. But Quay made Sports Center, so we'll.
That's tough.
I'll state my case on that one.
That's tough too. It makes Sports Center.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining us. You guys have been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun watching you guys play this season. The Lob City was certainly something to behold with all the dunks and everything. And so I wish you guys all the best. If we see Cam again in the Aggies uniform, that would be great. But certainly we wish him all the best of luck in his future endeavors. And Coach Jones, we look forward to seeing you again patrolling those sidelines.